Alright folks, and welcome to the channel. And in this video I'm going to show you what I've done in mixing a track by Scott Elliott from Chernobyl Studios. So let's check this out. Right, so this is a track by Scott Elliott from Chernobyl Studios. This song's called Suicide Manor. Now, it's a song he wrote a while back. I think if I remember rightly, he said about 4 years ago. But he's updated it, re-recorded it, added some extra bits to it, and he released the multi-track for people to go and grab them for free and have a play about with yourselves. So I took the opportunity. Now, Scott's an excellent guy. He's a really nice, friendly guy. Got some good advice on mixing all together, but also mixing guitars and stuff like that, especially for extreme music and extreme black metal. So that's his forte, if you will, is. But yeah, he does all sorts of other rock and metal as well, not just the really extreme stuff. So yeah, like I say, you can get all these multi-tracks for absolutely free. And if you look, there is quite a number of tracks in there. There's 50 individual tracks, but yeah, we're not using all of them all the way through the track. Some of them are only used right at the beginning. So what we've got loaded up is, and I do this with every song that I mix, whether it's one of my own or somebody else's, colour coordinate everything before I start any mix. So drums in blue, bass in purple, guitars red, vocals in yellow. And then there's some orchestral parts here. I've got them in sort of a slatey, beautiful, sort of a slate colour. And then some effects tracks down here, which I've got in this sort of lilac-y, purpley colour. So we'll have a quick listen to part of the track, and then I'll break each part down. So there's part of the track. So for drums, part of the bass and some of the orchestral string parts, they're all programmed in. But if you haven't got those programs, what he's done is rendered everything down to audio. So it doesn't matter if you've got the programs or not. And the drums he used were Solon drums, so they're quite processed as it is. So we'll have a look at the processing we've got on drums. And as you can see here, we've not got a lot of processing on at all. Now, I will say is some of the things I've done similar to Scott. Some things I've done, I won't say totally different, but more to my taste, if you will. So as you can see on the shells, all we've really got on there is EQs, and on the kick I have put a limiter on as well. So for this track, I decided to try out this 6550 channel strip from DSP. So all I'm doing on this track is I've just got a couple of EQs in here. I've just tamed a bit of the low end down there, even though I've just brought a little bit back in. And as you can see, just taking quite a bit out of that muddy mid-range just to tame that sort of muddiness down. And on both of them, we've just added a little bit at the top end just to help the kick sort of cut through the mix. And I've just put a bit of a limiter on there just to raise the volume up a little bit as well. And on the snares, same again, just taking that sort of muddiness out of that mid-range. Let some of the top end cut through the mix, and just added a little bit there, just over 200 hertz, just to add some body into the mix as well. What do we have going off on here? Yeah, I think all I did there was like a high shelf in there at 10k, just to let a bit more of that snare through. So on the toms, it's basically similar processing on all the toms. It's just some of the mid-range cuts are slightly different because of the tunings of the different toms. And on this one, tom one, just taking that sort of muddiness out there, and just a little bit there, around about 8.5k, just to help them push through the mix. And it's pretty much similar on all the others as well. Like I say, these are heavily processed drums anyway, so you don't need to add a bunch of channel strips in there and adding extra compression in. These drums are quite heavily compressed anyway. Now on the cymbals, all I'm using on the cymbals is this Dual de-esser from Uglytone, and that was just to, if you will, just to take it. All I use these for, sometimes I'll use the Dual, sometimes I'll use a tape saturator, and that's just to sort of dull the cymbals down a little bit, just to take that harsh top end off. And then on the room, all I did there was just a high and a low pass filter. That's all I thought was needed. And then I've just got the affected mushroomed widener in there, just to add a little bit of width. Now next we've got the bass. Now originally these multi-tracks only come with one bass track, and it's quite a clanky bass. Let me just solo this bass out and take the processing off. So on its own, it is a quite clanky bass. Now, originally what I did, I did a similar thing to Scott, push that through to an effects channel for the low end. But when I came back a day or two to have a listen to it, I thought, what I'll do is I'll just add a second bass track and do that, and then both them tracks then go straight to the submix. And all I've got on there is just some, this is on the main bass track, just taking some of that sort of muddy, as you can see, we're following a theme here. It's metal, we need to sort of calm that mid-range out, just basic low and high pass filter and some muddiness out of that mid-range. And I've got the Landmax limiter in there as well. This is free. All we're using that for is just to tame the peaks on the bass. Now for the second bass track, this is just for the low end. So let me just solo all that out. Yeah, it's quite woofy, but you put it along with the other bass track. It just adds a little bit of body in there. So that's all I'm using it for, just that low end. And same again, just a limiter, just to catch those peaks. That's one thing I did slightly different to Scott. Now, guitars, these are just totally different. He supplies you with just the DIs to use with whatever amp sim you want to use, or if you want to reamp altogether. Now, on the original track, on his original version, he used the Mercurial U530, the one that's based on an Engel E530, and he just had two different speaker combinations. He used the GM12 and the K120s. Now I did this slightly different on the ones on the two tracks that I panned out 100% left and right. I used the Audio Assault Sigma. I didn't have the Sigma 2 at the time, the version 2 wasn't out, so I used the original Sigma. And on the tracks that I panned in slightly, I used the Misha Tone Forge, the original version, because the second same again, the version 2 wasn't out. So in solo, this is what the Sigma sounds like. And the Tom Forge. So two, not they are totally different guitar sounds, but together I think they work quite well. Anyway, I think they work quite well. I have got some EQ in there because we're using two totally different amp sims. Just do a slight bit of EQing in there before it goes into the submix. So just a little bit of notching out here and there, nothing too major. And it's same on the other Sigma track. And for the Tom Forge, I think it's very similar processing again. Vocal wise, now these are Scott's vocals, and we have got a number of vocal tracks here. So these first four are just some growls he did. It's pretty cool. And all I've done on there is just some EQing. I think it's basically the same EQ on each individual track. High pass filter in there, bit of a low pass filter as well. Just taking that sort of muddiness out, and added a little bit of 2K in there, and then I've used the audio assault head crusher in there just to distort it a little bit. So on this next track, this is like a radio announcement, because this song is based around a video game he was playing at the time. I can't remember which one. I did use the Shep's Omni channel on this one, and this is called Vocal 5 Radio. And it just gives that sort of a radio announcer's type voice, sort of coming off a radio, not speaking into a microphone.
What they are. Hornsey really fucked up, man. They really fucked up. Everybody else that was with us, we lost these fucking things. No matter how many we kill, they just keep coming and coming and fucking coming.
And I do apologise for anybody that that might get offended by the by some of the language, but yeah, whatever. I mean, I could have done exactly the same with just a bit of EQ, but I thought I'll try out with this. I liked what it was doing, so I just stuck with this. This next track is just a screaming track, where it is screaming. And as you can see, we've got some automation on here. And that bit of automation is just to pan it from one side straight to the other. That's all we've got on there. Same again, it's just the same EQ move because it's Scott's vocal, so it's the same. And this last vocal track is just another radio announcement, but it's been reversed. And as you see, it's a similar. We've got some more automation on there, and that's just basically it's doing the same thing. It's doing panning, but instead of just going straight from one side to the other, it's going to both sides. So that's what that's doing. And then next we've just got some string tracks here. We've got all sorts of different strings. We've got strings, brass, all sorts of different brass in there, piccolos, etc., etc. And as you can see, all we've got on there is just some EQ. I can't remember exactly what program you use, but these are all VST, MIDI VST as well, so that these are quite heavily processed, the same as with the drums. I think they sound pretty cool. When they're in with the mix, they do make quite a bit of difference. And right at the end here, we've just got some different sound effects. I've got some similar sound effects to these, but yeah, we've got some gunshots, impacts, door drops, etc., etc. Just to give it that bit of bit more of horror in there. And then after that, this is where we've got our sub-mixers, effects units, or effect tracks, if you will, and then stem tracks. On the drums, sub-mix, all I've got is just a slight bit of EQ, and then I'm using the RM2, just to add a bit of saturation in there, if you will, sort of console emulation in there as well. I may do a video on this at some time because I do use it quite a lot. And then on the cymbals, it's just my usual cymbal processing, bit of EQ and some compression. And then both of those tracks are going to a drum distortion and just using the crusher, which is I use on a hell of a lot of mixers. And then on the shells, sort of snares and toms, I've got them going to 2 reverbs. I've got this is the longer reverb. This is the Big Lush from this. Oh, sorry, it's on the Big Lush preset. It's the 1989 verb from Ugritone. And then the other one is one from Audio Assault. This is the Oral Verb. This is more of a shorter reverb. And processing on bass, my usual setup. Chips omni-channel. There was a frequency. So what's that about? 2.6k. There was that frequency was really annoying me in the bass, so I just dipped a bit out on there. Now on guitars, didn't use that at all, so I don't know why that's still in there. Got the C4, got the AP. In fact, I know why I didn't use that. It's because I've done processing on the actual guitar tracks themselves. Just using the API just to take a bit of muddiness out there. The API 550B, and then I'm just using the fat channel from. This is one of the inbuilt ones from in Studio One, and this is just basically a Pultec style EQ. So just doing the usual sort of boost and attenuation on the low end, and I'm just boosting a little bit there at 16k as well. And then on vocals, it's just a basic high and low pass filter because a lot of the processing's been done on the vocals already. And this was the low end bass that I did originally use. As you see, it's exactly the same processing. I just duplicated the track and just copied those across. Now these other verbs, these are all other reverbs, just sending some of the vocals. I've just got a basic room reverb in there and a vocal plate reverb for the vocals. And then on some of the, did I put it on some of the strings, just another room reverb. I could have perhaps put them to that other room reverb. And on the actual stem tracks themselves, on the drums, I use the Shep 73. I'm absolutely loving this plugin at the minute. I've been using it for a couple of months and I'm absolutely loving it. It's definitely sort of making a difference to the drums. And for parallel compression, I'm using the Tuco from Summonus, and this is another program I'm loving. I've been using this for nearly 6 months now, and it's ended up on since I've started using it, it's ended up on every mix. And I'm going to I will do a video on this one. This is another one I do absolutely love. And then I'm just for a bit of drum bus glue, using this Joel Wazerski drum bus glue. That's what it's called. As you see, I've got all of them on there: bass, guitars, vocals, and keyboards. On the bass, just slight bit of a low shelf in there just to control the low end. And same again, just they got the JW bass bus glue. Guitars didn't do anything on the EQ. I was really happy with how the guitar sounded. Same again, got that bus glue in there. I probably will do a video on these because I don't use them on every mix, but they do get used quite often. Same again with the vocals, just taming that low end down with that shelf, and I've got that muscular one there. Strings, same again, I just dipped a little bit out at 380, 385. I don't know, I think he must have just been annoying me at the time. But yeah, as you see, it's not even a dB, it's just a very slight amount. And yeah, same again with the keys bus glue, and then on the sound effects, just taming that low end on the sound effects so it's not sort of conflicting with the kick drum. And then on the master track, just using the Slate Digital mix bus, and then I used the RM2 after the mix track. Just add a bit of, if you will, tape saturation, just a bit of saturation in there. It's nothing too severe, just to, if you will, just to tame things down. You just add that nice bit of saturation, and then just some bus compression. Now I did have the mix glow on there as well, but I ended up not using it in the end. I've just left it in there, and then right at the end, I'm just using, because it's not a track I'm releasing myself, I've just decided to put Ozonite at the end there, just for if you will, the final master. So what I'll do now is play the song all the way through, let you have a listen, and then we'll come back at the end. So, there you go. There's Suicide Manor. My Scott Elliott at Chernobyl Studios and mixed by the Evil Wizard. I was really happy with this mix. I don't think there's much I'd change on it. Maybe just some slight EQ moves in there, but nothing too severe. It's nothing that I think, oh my god, there's anything blaring out. But yeah, I'm quite happy with it. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. That's all for this video. If you like what I'm doing, please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. You know the drill by now. And I'll catch you in the next one. Right folks, I hope you enjoyed that video. You can follow me on social media and you can get my music online. And if you want to support the channel, there's Buy Me a Coffee and PayPal links. They're all down in the description. Click up here to subscribe and click the link down there for videos that you may not have seen. Keep it loud and keep it heavy.